Let's talk about military symbols. These are the symbols you drop on a map to communicate with friendlies about who's where, what's going on, and everything. And this is standard across all of allied NATO stuff. So yes, the US uses this, but also Belgium also uses this, Spain, Britain. This is pretty common across many nations. So first thing we have to understand is that friendly units are blue rectangles, enemy units are red diamonds. That's one of the most basic things there. And then the symbol on the inside of the icon shows what type of unit it is. For example, the X is infantry, reminiscent of the old crossed ammo belts that infantry used to wear hundreds of years ago. Recon has the slash, indicative of the old recon, the cav sashes that they would wear. Armor has the oval, that's supposed to be tank tracks. Mechanized infantry, of course, you're mixing the tank tracks plus the infantry cross. Mortars, we'll talk more over there, but mortars have the circle with the arrow coming out of it. Artillery is just a big dot, supposed to be a cannonball. Medical has the medical cross. Engineer, I've always just thought it looks like a sideways E, but I am told by engineers that it's actually supposed to be a bridge. So, I guess. And then supply, that's supposed to be a road because, logistics, trains, and everything. And to denote the size of these units, we add little icons on top. So teams have an open circle with a slash. That's like 2 to 4 dudes. Squad around 6 to 10. That's the single dot. Platoon around 30 to 40. You've got 3 dots. And a company has a dash. And of course that goes up higher, but for our purposes, we'll leave it there. And then for equipment, sometimes on range cards, or if you're trying to plan a defense, you may want to drop specific equipment that is important. So for machine guns, you have an arrow with a platform at the bottom, and then you have a dash, 2 dashes, and 3 dashes for light, medium, and heavy. So that would be like a SAW, a 240 Bravo versus a 50 cal. And then for mortars, you have, like I said, the circle with the arrow. Grenade launchers is a circle through the arrow. And the AT rocket has the upper chevron on top of the arrow with the tail. For AT systems, you can kind of play around with these a little bit. They're more intuitive than you might think. The chevron on top implies that it's anti-tank, and the rocket underneath it implies that, the tail underneath implies that it's a rocket. So, and of course you can add the dash, 2 dash, 3 dashes to make it a light, medium, or heavy for any one of these. For vehicles, wheeled trucks, utility vehicles, pickup trucks, even Humvees could be denoted like this. APCs are armored personnel carriers. They look like that, something more like an M113. And then an IFV, that's going to be more common today, like the Bradleys, the BMPs, and all that stuff. And then we've got tanks, which is the rectangle and the sides there. Helicopters, pretty identifiable. And the drone, which is super relevant today, which is just that little V like you're drawing a seagull. But yeah, so those are the basic military symbols. Of course, you can go check out the manual 1-02, which has, it's like 800 pages to explain all of this stuff. But if you understand this, you understand the 80% of the problem of military symbols, and you can probably understand most of what's going on.